What's going on, peeps? Welcome to the Season 2 AACL Playbook Reveal Show. I am your host, Dave Axis, and we're not going to mess around a lot tonight. You know, usually I do these 2-hour-long shows and we screw around, but not tonight. Tonight, I got to be off the air in 45 minutes, so with a few minutes talking now, a few minutes at the end, that only leaves about 3 minutes per team. So it's just going to be me. If there's some time at the end of the show, I've asked ADs to jump in if they want to say a couple things, but that would also be super quick if we have time to do that. So just a reminder, this is the Playbook Reveal Show. We had the Playbook Draft last week where each athletic director for each school was able to choose 3 playbooks in a draft format. This Wednesday will be the divisions release show where we're going to release the divisions, but I'm going to draw them World Cup style live on the air. Like, I won't even know what they are until we draw them live on the air. And then this Friday we've got the deadline for people to join the AACL and still have a player. There's only about 5 scholarships left for this season. We have 115, I think, now. Student athletes have already accepted scholarships and committed to other schools. So there's your quick update. So let's get this going. Crazy Canuck, who are you talking to? Are you talking to Beard? I don't even know what what are you guys talking about in the chat? Let me throw out a quick shout out in the chat. Crazy Canucks in the house. Duke's here. Corey. It says Corey Mucci. Interested to see how this plays out. Good to see you, buddy. Packer Fred is here, as well as Bob Funk, Hunter McWaffle, along with Dave Axis. That guy's in the chat. And the Whale Nexus is here. What do you know about that? What a shocker. Whale Nexus, Dave Axis, and Wink all in the same place. Oh, Jeff Gagne's in the house. Jeff, what's up? Jayhawks, baby. Aaron Kozak, good to see you, buddy. Let's get this. You guys ready to get this party started? Let's do this. We're going to do these in reverse order. All right, you ready? So the first school that we're going to do will be Virginia Tech. So we'll check out Virginia Tech first. We'll work backwards. By the way, we always call Syracuse Q's, so they're going to have to wait till the end because they're under the letter C in the AACL alphabet. Gucci with an M, brother. You got it. Oh, Corey Mucci. Yeah, did I say Mucci or did I say Gucci? Are you Gucci Mucci? I don't even know, bro, at this point. This is what happens when I have to rush through shows and I can't take my time. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go, folks. First playbook reveal. The 3 playbooks that Virginia Tech has drawn or has drafted last week to play with this season in Season 2 for the AACL. They can only use these 3 playbooks. They can switch them whenever they want. But each team only has 3 offensive playbooks they can use. So here we go. First school, Virginia Tech, out the gate. Here we go. Virginia Tech. The Virginia Tech Hokies have taken Texas in the first round. That is a spread offense. They followed that up in the second round with the Michigan offense, which is a multiple offense. And then they wrapped it up with Pitt, which is a pro-style offense. The interesting thing about Virginia Tech is they have a quarterback, they have a halfback, they have 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. So they've got quite a bit on offense to spread the ball around with these different offenses. Gunny, good to see you, buddy. Glad to see you in here. Dixieland's teams 2-10. That's pretty funny. Hokey. So these are the 3 offenses that the Virginia Tech Hokies, led by athletic director Yogi Barr, will be running in Season 3 of the All-American Collegiate League. Moving on to Penn. Oh, actually, I did want to make a note about Virginia Tech. If you remember, Virginia Tech in the tournament, in the first round, they ran the Tulane offense, only scored 7 points. In the second round, they ran I have it right here. They ran a pro set, and I don't know if you guys remember, they played Penn State. It was 20-13 late in the game. Virginia Tech had a chance to tie the game inside the 5-yard line. I think there was a turnover or something like this. So they were really close to scoring about 20 points or so. So when they changed it up to that offense, they about tripled their output. All right, now we will move on to the next school in reverse alphabetical order is Penn State. Penn State, led by athletic director David Leathers, in the first round selected the Oregon offense, which is a spread offense. It was a very coveted offense, and he didn't actually pick, I don't think, if I remember correctly, till about halfway through. So I was actually surprised that this offense did not get picked until later on. In the second round, David Leathers took the Stanford offense, which is a pro set. And in the third and final round, took the Indiana offense, which is an air raid. As you notice, very similar to Virginia Tech, they use 3 different offenses. Twin Screw, what's up, bro? Good to see you. They use 3 different offenses. So I don't know if this is going to be a strategy. Penn State's got a quarterback, a halfback, 2 wide receivers, but no tight end. That's it for on the offensive side of the ball. They actually have more humans on the defensive side of the ball. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. But I have found it intriguing that both the first schools out the box, Virginia Tech and Penn State, have gone with 3 different style offenses. I don't know if that's to confuse people, maybe throw off defenses, make them wonder how to prepare. It's very interesting. Gunny saying in the chat, when I see that curtain open, I'm picturing the 2 old men from the Muppets to appear. There you go, exactly. A couple of the offenses that Penn State ran in the tournament, ironically, they ran Penn State in the very first game against Illinois at home and only scored 13 points. Or they ran Oregon, I'm sorry, against Illinois. So interesting that David Leathers decided, even with only a 13-point output, they still chose to grab that offense. They also used their own Penn State offense in another game that they won, the game I mentioned to Virginia Tech. And then they also used where is the last one? There it is. Oh, the Michigan State offense. So 2 of the 3 that they used, they did not draft. So, again, more interesting facts as we move on to team number 3 in reverse alphabetical order, the Navy Midshipmen. Now, here's Navy, led by my man Gunny, that's in the chat right now. Gunny's Navy team drafted the Texas A&M, another highly coveted offense. They took Texas A&M, which is an air raid. They followed it up in the second round with the Oklahoma offense, which is a multiple offense. And then in the last round, they took Mizzou, which was a spread. Gunny saying he had Oregon and Stanford on a top 20 list for sure. Ron Haynes in the house, new to this league, looking forward to seeing what I got myself into. Well, welcome to the league, Ron. Welcome to the program here. The show. We're just going over the playbook draft right now. We've done Virginia Tech, Penn State. We are now on Navy. Navy, as you know, has one of the best quarterbacks in the AACL. One of only 2 returning sophomores, Rodney Dangerfield. He is the reigning player of the year in the AACL. Navy's running with a quarterback, a halfback. They originally had a fullback, but the fullback switched to halfback, and the halfback moved to linebacker. So that's going to be interesting how that plays out. They do have 2 wide receivers and a tight end. So, again, a lot of weapons on offense to spread the ball around with Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Mizzou as their offenses. A couple of offenses they used in the tournament. They used the Oregon offense, which Gunny just mentioned. Over under the graphic says suck instead of USC. You know me too well, bro. You know me too well. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I did or not now that I mentioned it. Mac Dre, what's up? What's up? Good to see you, bud. Oregon Navy took the Oregon offense in the first game when they blew out Virginia Tech 48-7. And then they also used the Oregon offense in the third round, but there was another round they played. And they used the Baylor offense, which did not work out for them very well. So they stayed away from Baylor. They were unable to get the Oregon offense. And these are the 3 offenses you see that they will be running in Season 3. Moving on to our 4th team on the show, the LSU Tigers. Now, LSU was interesting. Now, LSU did get the Baylor offenses. If I'm not mistaken, Frank had the #1 pick in the draft, and he took the Baylor offense, which is a spread. Now, he's kind of broken from tradition, if you will, from the first few teams we just talked about, and he drafted 2 different offensive playbooks that were similar. The spread offense of Baylor, the spread offense of TCU. Interesting thought there. I'm not sure, the thought process behind that, but like I said before, if we have time at the end of the show and anybody jumps on, maybe we can ask him, or we can ask him in open forum. And then with a little bit of a surprise pick, I don't think anybody had Western Kentucky on their radar. If you're an athletic director and you're in the chat, let me know. I see Gunny in there. I see Beard in there. I'm not sure who else. I think Wink's still in there. Did any of you have Western Kentucky, the pro set offense, on your radar? It's kind of interesting. LSU offensively, like I said, Frank, the franchise Wade, is their athletic director. They've got a quarterback, a halfback, only 1 wide receiver, and a tight end. They've put most of their human assets on the defensive side of the ball. I think they have the most defensive players, if I'm not mistaken. So that's gonna be interesting as well. LSU used a spread offense in round 1 of the tournament against Auburn, lost 22-13. In the second round, they played Florida, and they beat Florida. What was the score? Oh, that was the one they won at the end of the game. So they did another spread, the generic spread offense, and they scored 31 points with it. So, again, it's not just about the playbook. It's about who you play, what defense they're running, because they ran the spread generic back-to-back, but they didn't have the same results scoring-wise. So, one more thing, LSU. Oh, no, that was it. They were 2 and out. Oh, no, they were 1. I'm trying to find out this third game, but I don't see it. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, they went spread all the way. They scored another 27 points. So, obviously, Frank and LSU, they like the spread offenses, which you can tell by what they ran in the tournament and what they drafted here today. The coldest, Drizzy, what's up? I'm here as defensive end. I hope my player do well because I heard D-line don't do well in Sims. You'd be surprised. It's all random, bro. You just never know. All right, moving on to our our 5th team of the show already. Maybe I'm going a little too fast. It's only 12 after. I'm gonna be done super early. Let's take a look at Kansas, folks. Kansas, if you remember, they finished runner-up in the preseason tournament. Yeah, that's true, Jeff. Kansas defensive line was a beast in the tournament. Their defense carried them for several quarters throughout that. The Kansas Jayhawks, led by my boy Benji Matson, the athletic director over there. The Ole Miss spread offense, which he used at least once, maybe twice. I hope Dave skips the letter A. Oh, Goody, why do you think I saved him for last, bro? Ole Miss, Kansas used once or twice in the tournament. I think they were pretty successful, but we'll check that in a moment. They switched things up in the second round by drafting the West Virginia playbook and going air raid. And then they took the spread generic playbook, which is the one that LSU was using in the tournament. So I thought they were the first team to grab a generic offense in the draft, I believe. There might have been one in the second round, but we'll find out here in a moment. Kansas, we know they played a bunch of games in the tournament because they went all the way to the championship. They ran the West Virginia offense, scored 24 points and a 1-point win versus Iowa in the first round. They used the Iowa offense, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it looks like. No, that's not it. Kansas. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Ole Miss. Yeah, they used the Ole Miss, which is what they drafted against Illinois in the second round, and won 30-7. So that's huge. And then Kansas scored another 37 using the Ole Miss playbook again on Navy, which was the upset, or at least the surprise of the tournament. Hey, Frank, what's up, brother? You just missed your team. We just did you right before Kansas. And then, let me see, Kansas, they flirted with Florida State, Missouri, Ohio State, and Ole Miss again. So they used Ole Miss 3 times in the tournament. Of course, them and Auburn played the most games because they had to play a 2 out of 3 championship by going undefeated up to that point. But there you go. There's Kansas Jayhawks, Ole Miss, West Virginia, and the spread generic Moving on, get us halfway through already. Look at it. Is that only 7:15? Man, I'm talking really fast. Let's check out and see the land of corn, our man Zach Holder, of what he did for the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Iowa Hawkeyes in the first round drafted the Oklahoma State playbook. Kansas City got the number 1 playbook, Jet, right? Then we've got Notre Dame, which is a spread offense in the second round. And then they wrapped it up. Interestingly enough, they were the first team in the draft to take the playbook of another team. Now, that happened twice. Iowa was the first ones to do it. And they stole David Leather's playbook right out from under him. I don't know if David Leathers was happy about that or not. Got their penetration playbook. Good. That was one of the best bowl game names ever. I agree with that. Iowa. Let me pull their roster up. They've got a quarterback, a halfback, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. A lot of teams have that same 5-player offensive set. I think only a couple have only gone 1 wide receiver where they've gone more heavy on the defense than the offense. But Iowa, definitely one of those, has spread the ball around. If you remember, Cornhub and Stephon Forge and whatever their generic wide receiver 3 was in the tournament got a lot of balls, a lot of play. And so Iowa, looks like they're going to spread it out and they're going to air it out. Iowa lost that 1-point heartbreaker with this Oklahoma State offense to Kansas in the first round. It wasn't a bad game. They played well. They just lost by 1 point. They had that bye in the second round. But then in the third round, let me see if I can find Iowa real quick. They used Baylor, and they scored 21 points against Auburn. They lost by 3. So Iowa was 2 and out. So that's all. They only got 2 chances, 2 playbooks to test throughout the tournament. A lot of balls to the face, right, Frank? So this is what Iowa is doing for season 3. Excuse me. Oklahoma State air raid, Notre Dame spread, and Penn State multiple offense. Moving on now to Indiana. Indiana Hoosiers, led by Chad Rowland over there. He's the athletic director. Took the Ohio State spread offense in the first round. Followed that up with a multiple offense from Boise State. And then the Georgia playbook pro set, which was another surprise to me. I didn't see Georgia on a lot of, quote-unquote draft boards, if you will, or offensive playbooks that teams were talking about. Indiana, also quarterback, halfback, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end, like a lot of teams. In the tournament, in the preseason tournament. Oh, they didn't play in the season tournament, did they? Nope. No, they were added after. That's right. Indiana and who's the other team that didn't play in the tournament, you guys? Oh, Alabama. So Indiana and Alabama don't have any testing grounds right now. Ron Haynes, that's the Buckeye. Yeah, the Suckeye. I call them the Fuckeyes, but whatevs. I'm not a big Ohio State fan, as you could tell. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, Chad Rowland, I will say this Indiana team did play in season 1 of the AACL, so he does have some. I knew Nate Hall would be here. Nate, what's up? Oh, Jeff Banfield, good to see you, buddy. Good talk today, by the way. It'll be interesting to see if Chad's experience from season 1 was enough to get him through with these 3 playbooks, or if not being able to compete in the preseason tournament will be a hindrance at all. We will see. And on Wednesday night, remember, if you just joined us and you missed what I talked about at the beginning, Wednesday night we will have the divisions reveal live on air, World Cup draw style, and then I will also reveal the rivalries. But the rivalries are set no matter where you play, because even though we're gonna have 3 divisions, so I'll just leak that now. We're gonna have 3 divisions of 4 teams each. Everybody's gonna play everybody. The 3 division winners and 1 wild card will make the playoff. Boom. There you go. Breaking news. Where's my breaking news? Where's my soundboard when I need it? Hold on a second. Breaking news right here on. Oh, man. I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's not working. Oh, well. Even if it was, I have the desktop muted anyway, so you wouldn't hear it. Yeah, gee, I wonder, bro. I don't know what's going on with the soundboard, but it's not working. But it doesn't matter. You know what is working? The graphics and the video. So let's move on and see what Illinois is going to do in season 2. The Illinois Fighting Illini, they took the Clemson pistol offense, which was very popular and very coveted. It was up there with the with like Oregon and Baylor and stuff. A lot of teams talking about taking it. Illinois was fortunate enough to get it. They took their own playbook. They were the first ones to take their own playbook as opposed to Iowa being the first ones to take someone else's playbook. And then they wrapped it up with the spread from Mississippi State. So they got a pistol, a multiple, and a spread to go into season 3. Very much like those first few teams we talked about, mixing it up, not letting people know what they were going to do. Hey, Pete the Pirate's back. Long time no see. Basically, Illinois is gonna mix it up, it looks like. Illinois, like a lot of other teams, they've got a quarterback, they got a halfback, they have 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. So I think that seems to be the norm here. But the other interesting thing is I opened up wide receiver 3 and outside linebacker positions this morning. And it'll be interesting to see how many teams take advantage of wide receiver 3 because, as we saw in the tournament, wide receiver 3's got a lot of play. They got a lot of action. So will some tight ends move over? Will the couple fullbacks we have move over? I don't know. We'll see what happens. You have till Friday to figure it out. Let's take a look at Illinois in the preseason tournament. In game 1, they used the pistol, which is their first choice of offense. They scored 24 points in a victory against Penn State at Penn State. In the second round, however, I believe Illinois was not so lucky. Illinois in the second round, they used the pistol again, but they only scored 7 points against a pretty jacked up Kansas defense. And then in the third round, I believe they made it 4 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. In the third round, they used the pistol again, and they scored 30 points at LSU in a 30-27 win. And then here's the interesting thing. You ready for this? They were eliminated. Illinois was eliminated using the pistol. They used the same pistol. I believe it was the generic pistol all 4 games. But they lost to Syracuse 24-20 in the 4th round to get eliminated, to not be able to move on to that top 3. And Syracuse used which offense? The Clemson pistol offense that Illinois just took. So I'm guessing Illinois must have chosen before Syracuse because Syracuse didn't grab it. So how many schools is that now down? We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, there's only 4 schools left. Let's move on to the Florida Gators. And yes, Beard, Eli Stove, he's already on. Whoever doesn't take that wide receiver 3 spot is crazy. All right, let's see what the Florida Gators are going to do in season 2 of the AACL. What is Crazy Canuck talking about? Guaranteed Illinois tight end leaves college a wide receiver. Hey, I'm just saying, you never know. You just never know. The Florida Gators, in the first round, took the very coveted offense by Winkler. Winkler's the AD over there. He wanted that Purdue offense, and I think he was not very happy when he first saw his draft spot. But fortunately, nobody else was the wiser, and Purdue did fall to him, so he was able to snag Purdue. He then took Alabama. Now, I don't know if he did that so David Ware wouldn't get it, because I believe I heard David Ware before talking about wanting his own offense. And then a pro set gen. I think that's only one of 2 or 3 generic offenses that were drafted. So he took a pro, he took a one back, and another pro. So this looks like a Florida Gator offense that's planning on doing a lot of running and a lot of short passes rather than airing it out and spreading it out. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what they have. Florida, quarterback, halfback, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. And the tight end, I've got to be honest with you, from what we saw, tight end was one of the more popular targets in the tournament by their quarterback, Tommy Tebow. So I wouldn't be surprised if these offenses, these pro and one-back offenses, are very complementary to a good, big, talented tight end like Florida has. And a guy named Chris Lee. That's his player. Exactly. Beard saying, I'm 100% sure he did. You're talking about Winkler stealing that playbook? That's hilarious. All right. Florida Gators in the tournament, ironically, going into the tournament, they had one of the highest values, human player values, in the league. Now, that's been turned upside down and changed 100 times since then with all the people that have joined. But the biggest surprise of the tournament, I think, was them going 2-0, especially in the first round. When the first round blew everybody away. When they lost to Syracuse 34-3. Now, Florida used an air raid, and Winkler said after that game that, he messed up with his offense based on the personnel that he had. So he switched it up in the second game. And in the second game, it came down to the wire, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to look it up. I think that he lost in the last possession. He did. That was that LSU-Florida game. So Florida used the pro style, which is what they like here with the Purdue and the pro set gen. They hosted LSU. It was 28 to... What was it, Wink? Like 28-10 or something like that. And they scored whatever it was. And LSU shut them out in the fourth quarter and won the game 31-28. And I think it went all the way down to the wire. LSU was using that spread offense I talked about earlier when I mentioned them. But Florida went to that pro style and did put 28 points up on LSU. So I think that's Wink probably saw something that he liked in that one. All right, 3 teams left, and we got plenty of time. We're doing well. Please don't say 28-3. I haven't gotten. Did I get there already, Gunny? Did I skip that? I don't know. We've got 3 teams left. The next one is Q's. Let's see what Aacl and the Orange have up their sleeves for season 2. All right, here you go, folks. So first of all, before I blacked out in rage. Before I even get to this, let me remind everybody, listen, Aacl has not been available for several days due to the brewery that he works at was flooded. Everything was pretty much ruined, damaged. The place is going to be out of business for a while. He's been over there doing cleanup and whatever. So Syracuse is a little behind on the recruiting. They were able to pick up a couple players yesterday to get to 7, but they have the least amount of players in the league. So they have a quarterback, they have a halfback, they have 1 wide receiver that they just signed yesterday, and that's it on the offensive side of the ball so far. However, we know that he does like that Florida State offense. He used it in the tournament. He's talked about it before. He was able to grab it with his first pick of the draft. It's a multiple offense. He went Air Force with the second option offense, of course, with his quarterback Taz Von Wolfswinkel, who's right up there with Rodney Dangerfield as one of the best quarterbacks and can run it. He's a scrambling quarterback. He can run it. He can option. So I think that's a good one. And then the Nevada pistol. I think these are 3 great offenses for Syracuse, to be honest with you. The Florida State multiple that they used in the tournament and were successful with. By the way, quick reminder, Syracuse finished 3rd in the preseason tournament. An option offense that will benefit their best player, and a pistol offense that will do the same. Plus, they have an 85 rated halfback in Artist God as well. So a lot of good offenses. This might be my favorite package as far as being complementary to the people you have on your team. This is my favorite of the draft, I think, right here is Syracuse. In the preseason tournament, Syracuse put on that 34 points, that 34-3 whooping over Florida with the Florida State offense. In the second round, Syracuse played Auburn, if I'm not mistaken. They did. They lost to Auburn 17-6 with that same Florida State offense, but Auburn's defense played really well in the second round. And you move on to the third round. They squeaked out a 16-15 victory over Penn State with the Michigan State offense, which they did not draft. And then And then that Clemson pistol that I mentioned to you. So look at the Clemson pistol was already taken. They settled for the Nevada pistol, and that's when they used that to score 24 points on Illinois and bump them out of the tournament. And then they had one more game. They tried the South Carolina offense, and it did not work out very well for them in the final, and they lost to Kansas 17-10. So that's what Syracuse is doing. That's what Eagles got up his sleeve over there. And it looks like he needs 3 more players. By the way, if you're new to the league or you're listening and you're not in the league yet, there are 5 scholarships available. I think 1 is in Kansas, 1 is in Illinois, and 3 are in Syracuse. And that's it. That's all we got left. You have till this Friday to come in the league and create a player and commit to a school by Friday, which is just a few days away. All right, 2 schools left, folks. We've got 15 minutes. We're doing great on time. Let's go to Bama first, because we call them Bama just like we call Q's. And we are doing reverse alphabetical order, and B comes before A in reverse alphabetical order. For those of you who ever had to do walk the white line after a few drinks getting pulled over by the CHP or something. Here's Alabama. All right, Alabama, interesting, right? One of only 2 teams that weren't around for the tournament. They were late ads, but I think they were the first ones to fill up their team. Maybe the second ones. Auburn might have been first. I don't remember. But Alabama, they filled up their roster really quick. So in the first round, they went to – we went reverse alphabetical order there, Cornwall. We're like 13 minutes away from going off the air. I'll try to review them real quick at the end if I have time. Alabama Crimson Tide took the Navy option offense for starters. So that kind of tells you maybe where their mindset's going to be. Then they took the Colorado multiple. And then to me, what was a surprise pick, the Florida International University multiple, which was a very interesting pick. It was probably one of the top 2 or 3 surprises for me in the draft. Athletic director David Ware, over there obviously doing the drafting. He has a quarterback, a halfback, a fullback, a tight end, and 1 wide receiver. So he opted to go heavy with a fullback and a tight end rather than going multiple wide receivers. So it's looking like the Navy option offense for sure is going to benefit him over there. And then we'll see what he does with this Colorado and Florida International offenses. As we know, him and the athletic director for Auburn, Duke, have a little bit of history in other leagues. They've already been going at it here, so I can't wait to watch the 2 of them play on the field with all the smack they've been talking off the field. And with that being said, let's check out what Auburn's going to do this season. All right, Auburn. They took all 3 Pac-12 schools. There you go. There you go, Duke. I couldn't remember if I did it or not, but I did do it. The over-under, it definitely went over. He stuck all West Coast Pac-12 schools, taking Cal with his first draft pick, taking Suck, or for those of you, SUC, for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge UCLA fan. I hate USC, so I call them SUC. And apparently I can't spell the word Arizona, so I don't know what this Arizona offense is, but I think Beard's cheating already by taking offense. This is what happens when you type too fast, I guess. But anyway, the Arizona offense. So he's got Cal, Suck, and Arizona, all Pac-12 offenses, air raid, pro, and spread, though. That's the difference, right? You think of Pac-12, you think West Coast, you think about spreading it out, but he's got an air raid, he's got a pro, and a spread. So that Arizona War Princess, that's awesome. Let's recap real quick. Auburn has a quarterback, a halfback, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end like most teams do for Season 2. And again, when I refer to these positions, I'm referring to human players. In the tournament, we all know Auburn won the preseason tournament, beating Kansas in a 2 out of 3 down the stretch. Auburn started off. I think they're the only team that I think used a different offense almost every single game, except for the ones that got eliminated early, obviously. But, Beard, you have 3 wide receivers now? Because that's not what my notes say, unless you changed it since last night. I haven't made any roster adjustments today since I sent that message out last night. So, Auburn, in the first round, used that Clemson pistol offense to score 22 points against an LSU team. They had a bye. Or no, they didn't have a bye. In the second round, I can't find their second round. Oh, they used Clemson again. They did use. Oh, you did use Clemson twice, bro. I thought you used a different one every time. I guess not. Maybe it was after the second round. What else we got here? Auburn. There's an Arizona. He used Arizona once. He scored 24 points against Iowa. Then he looks like he had a bye. He used Texas State offense. He scored 34 points against Navy in a 34-24 win. I don't think anybody saw him controlling Navy like that. And then against Kansas in those final 3 games, he used the Indiana offense. He used the Suck offense. And he used the Arizona. So he did get some play out of Arizona and Suck. The interesting thing here, though, is he didn't use the Cal offense at all in the preseason. But he did take it very first thing in the draft. So was he hiding it? Was he protecting it in the tournament? Didn't want people to see him using it, so that's why he waited. Interesting. I'm not sure either way. So there it is, folks. I'm going to recap these again here in just a second. But these are your Season 2 AACL offensive playbooks for each team. And I will – I know, bro, Holdorf, we already talked about that, bro. You're like 5 minutes late. You're like a half an hour late to the show and 5 minutes late to this topic. You should probably go back to sleep, man. I'll recap these real quick in reverse order, which is actually alphabetical order. Auburn Tigers take Cal, Suck, and Arizona. Cal Air Raid, Suck is a pro set, and Arizona is a spread. Alabama took the Navy option offense, the Colorado multiple offense, and the Florida International multiple offense. Syracuse took the Florida State multiple offense, the Air Force option, and the Nevada pistol. Florida took the Purdue pro offense, the Alabama one back, and the generic pro set offense. Illinois took the pistol offense from Clemson, their own Illinois multiple offense, and the spread offense from Mississippi State. Indiana took the Ohio State spread offense, the Boise State multiple, and the pro set from Georgia. Yes, they do suck. I hate them so much, Wink. You know that. Iowa, for Zach, for those of you who are just showing up. Oklahoma State air raid, the Notre Dame spread, and the Penn State multiple, I believe, like I said, being the first, maybe the only team, but definitely the first team to steal another AACL team's offense. Kansas is going with Ole Miss, the Ole Miss spread, the West Virginia air raid, and a generic spread. So 2 out of 3 are spreads. Moving on to LSU. The number 1 pick of the draft was LSU. They took Baylor, which is a spread, TCU, which is also a spread. And then in one of the other surprises, along with that Florida International pick, was Western Kentucky. I did not have that on my radar, so we'll see how that pans out for LSU. Navy took the Texas A&M air raid, which was a very coveted offense, the Oklahoma multiple, and the Mizzou spread. Penn State took the Oregon spread. That is probably the most coveted offense. I'm telling you, I think it's that. It's A&M, and it's probably Clemson, maybe. I don't know. Maybe one more in there, but Oregon definitely at the top. Baylor, maybe. Oregon spread, Stanford pro, and the Indiana air raid. And last but not least, Virginia Tech going with the Texas spread offense, the Michigan multiple offense, and the Pitt pro offense. And that's it, folks. There you go. That was a quick show. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to do it in 45 minutes, Wink, but I did it in less than 40. Actually, 40 on the dot right now. What do you know? The real question is how many teams took their own play? Only 2. Illinois and I thought one other. Was there one more? I think Iowa took Penn State, so they were the only team to take one. And then I think Illinois took their own. I thought there was one more, but maybe not. Let me see the chat real quick here. Holdorf, Hunter, McWaffle, Gunny. Who else is in here? I saw Twin Screw, I think. I saw Beard. I saw Crazy Canuck. Who else is in here? Is that about it right now? Oh, it says we have 17, 18 people. Let me wrap up with this real quick. If you missed it, I announced this morning that I opened up 2 more positions. So you now have 16 different options that your 10 players can play. I added wide receiver 3, and I added outside linebacker. Now, outside linebacker, for some of those sets where you go nickels and dimes, excuse me, you may not, outside linebacker won't be playing. Only the middle linebacker will play in that probably, unless you specifically set your depth chart otherwise. You are superstar, Dave, and I love every second of it. Thank you very much, sir. We got 4 minutes. We're going to be off the air in 4 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'll tell you what's coming on here at the top of the hour. So those positions are open. So if you want to move to wide receiver 3 or outside linebacker, you need to let your athletic director know, and it has to be done this week. Everything shuts off and closes by Friday. If you don't have your shit together by Friday, your shit will not be together for season 2. This Wednesday, don't forget, right here on this channel, right here on this channel, we're going to draft the playbooks. I'm sorry, playbooks. The freaking what do you call it? Divisions. We're gonna do it World Cup style. I've got about 1 minute. Oh, I finally got an AD jump in. Duke, what's up? Welcome to the program, bro. You got about maybe 90 seconds max to talk, and then I got to sign.
What's up, man?
What's up?
I just wanted to stop in and answer any questions you had about the best playbook trio group in the whole AACL.
I actually think it's Syracuse if you base it on their personnel. If you take your Auburn goggles off, do you disagree? And you got about 30 seconds to tell me because we got to get off the air.
I think personnel group wise, you might, but judging by what we did in the preseason or the preseason tournament, we threw to the third wide receiver a lot, and contrary to reports coming out in the media, they are wrong. We have 3 wide receivers. So we have.
I'm looking at your spreadsheet right now. When did you get the 3rd wide receiver?
When we talked about it, and you said.
No.
Okay.
We literally just talked about it last night, and I told you had to wait till I announce it. And I just announced it last night or this morning, so it's whatever.
I'm announcing it.
Okay. So apparently Auburn's going to have a 3rd wide receiver for those of you out there wondering if you should do it or not.
So therefore, personnel-wise, I do think Syracuse, if Syracuse fills out their roster, they have a really great AD, and he obviously can game plan well because he was 3rd and had the worst team in the preseason tournament.
Yeah, I agree.
On paper.
Yeah. He had the lowest human player value of anyone in the tournament, and he finished 3rd place. So I would not sleep on Syracuse, and I think he chose wisely, especially now since he's behind the 8 ball again going into the season. Your last thought. You've got 30 seconds, and I got to get off the air.
Alabama sucks. That is all.
You don't need 30 seconds to say that. All right, in the chat, I see Frank the Franchise Way. Auburn has 2 forfeit scholarships now. Probation. That's hilarious. Don't sleep on LSU. We'll talk more about this on Wednesday. When we do
I'm going to need recruiting infractions on Auburn for jumping the gun. Just saying.
Well, technically, I already announced it this morning or last night, so he's actually
get on my level.
So he's actually okay. But all right, folks, it's 7:44.
Smelling a conspiracy.
It's 7:44. Hey, stay tuned. If you want, jump right back on this channel on Twitch or YouTube, right here on the Whale Nexus. The SSF. The last 2 weeks of the SSF is this week and next week. We've got matches tonight. We've got matches on Wednesday, and then 3 nights next week, and the season is over. So
no, 1 night next week.
Or 1 night next week. Sorry, it's going to all be on a Sunday. I forgot about that part. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you stick around and tune into I want that. I want that one right there.
I don't. You didn't throw this out there, and I'm very surprised you didn't throw this out there.
What's that?
The best team in the league plays tonight.
Oh, yeah, you're Knox City. Yeah, but we play Queens Island, so it's like, is it really going to be that good of a game? All right, hey,
steal it from you.
Hey, it's 7:45. And I said I would be off the air at 7:45, so I'm about to bounce. Thank you all for tuning in. If you missed something, go ahead and tune back. I'll see you right here again, right here on this channel at the top of the hour in 15 minutes. And again,